Good evening, unless it's morning or afternoon, and it's good morning or good afternoon, but it's evening for me at 8:11 p.m. Extremely busy day today. That's because I didn't do much of anything yesterday. Um, and the video for tonight is something a little bit different. It's titled Peacemaker Society Interview. And that's actually the title um of another video put out by the Peacemaker Society, and it's hiring local people worldwide. Let me just read the blurb that I wrote. I have not investigated this in detail, but at first glance it is pretty exciting. Here's an attorney teaching people how to claim their freedom from the corporations fraudulently posing as governments, and to earn a living helping other people free themselves. This is one of many operations working around the globe to re-educate people in regard to the criminality of our current system. This is an exciting thing to be aware of happening, especially if people become involved. I'm not advocating this particular program or any other, but I am encouraging everyone to learn as much as you can and take action to liberate yourself and others from the fraud that is all around us. Here's the video link. I actually saved that maybe yesterday, maybe early this morning. I've covered so much ground over the past 24 plus hours that I'm really not positive when I saw it. But I put it aside and I just finished watching it within the last half hour. And I decided that, yeah, I'm going to actually use that as my topic, because the more things that I become aware of, the more people that I become aware of that are helping other people learn the truth, I'm realizing that this is probably one of the most essential elements in creating peace on earth. And I like that it's called the Peacemaker Society, because if we all became peacemakers, and the more of us that do become peacemakers, the more difficult it's going to be for those that want to continue the war games. And that's been our leaders. It's been the governments and the bankers that have been behind the war. And the bankers and the governments are where the crime is. They are the criminals. You need to understand that. However, you also need to understand that not everyone in government, not everyone that works for a bank or in banking, not even every attorney is corrupt. There are honest people in all walks of life. Now, the system makes being honest difficult in many cases. However, there are more and more attorneys that are telling the truth. I know liar and lawyers are almost synonyms. But there are attorneys like Karen Hudas and Heather Tucci Giraffe and others that have moral fiber and have ethical foundations. And this gentleman, I don't know anything about this guy that's talking. He introduced himself at the beginning saying he was an attorney or a lawyer, but I guess he's not a bar attorney. I don't really know. But the bar is a criminal organization. So many of the things that are part of our societal structure are actually criminal in nature. And the more people that can learn about this and become aware of it and take action to liberate themselves from having to pay taxes which are actually voluntary, and to stop being taken advantage of by banks of using contracts that are not valid, lawful contracts. The more that we can learn, the more that we can grasp the reality of our world, the faster we can move forward and actually create a system that, as I often say, works for everyone. Right now, the system works for a relative handful of people. in proportion to the total number of people on the planet. And it's a slavery system where they purposefully keep people ignorant and enslaved to false debt. Debt is false when corporations create it. Corporations are the only legitimate reason for any corporation to exist is to serve the public. People are the value, and the people are always over whatever they create. The creator is always over the creation. And when people create corporations, the people are more important than the corporations, except what we've done in our world is criminally minded people, i.e. international bankers and people like that, have created a system where what they create, they try to make that the dominant thing. And they hide behind a cloak of corporate immunity, if you will, which is unlawful, by the way. It's against natural law. And they hide behind this cloak of protection that they want to protect themselves with, and they commit criminal acts. Governments and banks and courts are extortion, Ponzi schemes, rackets. It's racketeering. It's a criminal enterprise, and the people that are the highest up in these things, and even the people at the lower levels, the police. I was talking to some people earlier about police. I don't like police. I mean, when I was a boy, I had great respect for police. I mentioned in my video yesterday that my Uncle Ori, woodpile uncle, not a direct uncle, but he was the chief of police in my hometown. My best friend, Bobby Vanderklok, his dad was, I think, he was probably a sergeant when I was in elementary school, but worked his way up to lieutenant and captain, and he became the chief of police in my hometown. And police back then, I mean, we called them up, some of them we called by first names, Augie Faber. I mean, what a nice man. He was a cop. Cops now, it's not that people are bad, but the training has become horrendous. And policemen are no longer peace officers. They are code enforcement officers, ripping people off and part of a system of extortion. It's really literally extortion. And the more people that become aware and liberate themselves, taking advantage of the peacemaker society and taking advantage of Ubuntu and the many other, the Thrive movement, and the many other organizations of educating people and making people aware of how things really work. Because until we understand how the system is defrauding us, we're never going to be able to liberate ourselves. The first step is knowledge. Always the first step is knowledge. And of course, the second step ultimately has to be justice, to bring justice to those who are acting unlawfully and keep maintaining the continuity of government as a criminal enterprise. These are also criminals and need to be made accountable and need to be arrested. That's one of the other things that I've heard over from way back, even when I was in the Republic for the United States of America in RUSA. There were people creating citizen grand juries and different types of grand juries to actually bring justice to the people of the world and to stop the people that are committing injustices, which are literally crimes against humanity. The entire system is a human slavery system. That's what OPPT was all about. That's the gift that it gave us. It pointed out the illegalities or the unlawfulness of the corporate system and pointed directly at where the truth is, that the value is in us. We are and always have been the value, and we are the ones that loan banks and corporations all of their assets. All of their value comes from human beings. We've totally been misguided and poorly educated and misinformed into thinking that banks have money that's theirs. Banks don't have any money that's theirs. Banks hold something of value and they just help in the distribution. That's all. It's the only legitimate purpose of a bank. It's not about making, banks are not about making money. Not in the current world, of course, but a bank and all other corporations are there to serve the society, to serve the people, to make sure that that everything goes smoothly and that people are treated fairly, that their rights are preserved. Our value system has been totally distorted, totally distorted. And police are no longer to be respected in most cases. And it's not because they're bad people. It's because they've been mistrained. And it is that some of them, they just like to be dominant. They just like to be able to lord it over other people and to pretend they're the authority. But badges and uniforms and guns don't make authority. Truth makes authority. And we need to get back to knowing the truth about ourselves, about the system, and about many things. Many things. And that's what I hope is going to happen in 2014 more and more and more. It was happening in 2011. It was happening in 2012. It was happening in 2013. But I hope it accelerates even more in 2014 and that we actually see some of the breakthroughs that we need. We see some of the people that are blocking the progress of humanity. We see some of those curtailed in such a way that it sends a loud message to others and that people will start singing like a canary and saying, yes, I want to do the right thing. And we start to see that across all the professions, in the medical profession, where doctors are poorly trained. The pharmaceutical industry is a corrupt industry. The AMA and the medical associations of the world, what is it, the Global World Health Organization, WHO. These are all of these government agencies and NGOs, non-government agencies that we think hold the structure in place. This is all a criminal activity. It's been going on all of our lives, but today we're becoming aware of it. And this is part of our education. It's part of our growing up. It's going to be part of our transformation. It's part of the process of liberating ourselves to be what we were created to be, taking back our birthright, taking back our value, and creating a world where peace has a chance. The Beatles sang about it, and other artists have portrayed this for a long time. Give peace a chance. Yes, we need to do this, and we need to each of us become peacemakers. I consider myself a delegate for world peace, and I consider everyone that's working hard to bring peace to the earth and to educate people. I consider them all peace delegates. So if that's what you're doing, you're a peace delegate. You don't need somebody else to confer a title upon you or anything like that. Just do the work. Just have it in your heart. You are what you put your energy toward and what you aspire toward. That's what you are. And if you aspire toward peace, I encourage you to keep going. I inspire you to if you need a job, look into this thing that I posted. What do you have to lose? Listen to it, write to them, find out if it's for you. It may be, it may not be. But it's an opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunities that come our way. We all need to do that. The opportunities that come our way to make a real difference in the world. We need to start doing jobs that liberate people and start refusing jobs. I mean, I was thinking today, somebody was talking about stopping the chemtrail, the people that fly chemtrails. And I thought, boy, wouldn't it be nice if there was a decree sent out and then enforced that anybody that's pouring poisons into the atmosphere of the earth, any pilot or any crew that's doing this, the plane is going to be evaporated. My first thought was shoot it down, but I thought, well, that will hurt people. That'll hurt the people that it might land on. So I bet you the ETs have technology to evaporate things. To put a laser on them and psh, it disintegrates. It doesn't hurt anybody except the people that are there. And give them fair warning. Don't just blow them out of the sky. But after a few chemtrail airplanes get disintegrated, don't you think that people would start getting the message that are in that business? I think the message would spread pretty good. And we need to take back our media and start telling the good stuff. Start telling the truth about the good stuff. And we need to, if there's any place we need to put our focus, we need to put our focus on the mainstream media and start holding them accountable. Start writing letters to the editor, calling up the news desks and stuff like that. In every way possible, take action and tell them we're not going to put up with telling lies anymore. We don't want you to be a propaganda machine. We want you to be the fourth arm of government to educate people and inform people the truth about what's really going on. Don't get your orders from the CIA or the NSA or some government agency. Take the stories from the people that are already doing it. There's all sorts of reporters on the internet that are reporting the truth. Point those people out to the CEOs of these corporations that run the media. We need to take the media back. We need to take our courts back. We need to take our schools back. We need to take our churches and our mosques and our synagogues back and our temples. We need to take back all of the organizations that are there that are supposed to be serving us, the things that have been distorted, and we need to repurpose everything in our culture, because let this year be the year that we turn everything around. Become, each of you, become part of a peacemaker society. We can do it if we make it our goal. Let's get there by the end of the year. Thank you for listening. Namaste.